Good evening, everyone. This is Coach Billy Hahn, Courtside with Coach Hahn. We've been doing this every Wednesday night here at the Greene Turtle. I have guests on each week, and the Greene Turtle and Dominion Post has sponsored me to do this show every Wednesday night. And the Dominion Post is represented tonight by my girl Jessica, who's always here. Jessica, thank you very much. And my special guest tonight, as Mountaineer fans all remember very well, one of the best three-point shooters in the history of WVU, and one of the guys that I had a chance to end up coaching for the last couple years of his career when we took over for Coach Beeline. Alex Ruoff. Let's give Alex a big hand. Yeah, dog.
Thank you, Coach.
Alex Ruoff, I'll just tell you a little bit about my man right now. Oh, this is all good, Alex. You're going to love me. I was in charge of coaching the guards when we broke down our skill work and our stuff at practice, and I was in charge of the guards. Well, obviously, Alex had come from Coach Beeline's system, which was vastly different than Coach, a little bit, right? A little bit different than Coach Huggins' system and philosophy. And both coaches are Hall of Fame coaches, both of them, Beeline and Huggs. So it's nothing to Alex's fault, but it took Alex a little bit adjustment time to figure out what we were trying to do and what Coach Huggins wanted our players to do. Long story short, from breaking down our defense with Alex for the first year, and then by the time his senior year came, we would assign Alex the toughest guard from the other team to guard. That's how far he came. And it's a credit to Alex. Alex is as hard of a worker that I've coached in my 40 years of coaching. The guy works his tail off. He worked relentlessly in the gym, getting shots up, coming in and doing extra time in the gym. Never took a day off in practice. Never took a day off in the weight room. Never took a day off in conditioning. And besides all that, Alex was never, ever a problem for a coach in anything that we did, both academically and off the court socially. So Alex Ruoff is a true Mountaineer and should make all Mountaineer fans super proud that we had a chance to have Alex Ruoff on our side.
Thank you.
How about that?
You're not so bad yourself.
How about that? How about that? Hey, Alex, we had a pretty good run, didn't we?
Had some good times, that's for sure.
We had some good times, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever get mad at me?
Sure.
Sure?
Sure, yeah.
Did you ever get mad at Coach Huggins?
Maybe once or twice.
Once or twice?
Yeah.
I think people would like to know how you adjusted from Beeline, which don't get me wrong, John Beeline is a Hall of Famer. The guy's a great coach, and he will be in the Hall of Fame someday. But the styles, personality-wise, how each coach goes about what they do.
Vastly different.
Complete opposites, right? Complete opposites.
Yeah.
So let's educate these people here a little bit about what it was sort of like for you to go from Beeline to Coach Huggins. Give a little bit of inside on both coaches. Go right ahead.
Like you said, it was different.
I
styles, different coaching, different systems, different everything. 1-3-1 defense compared to in-your-face man-to-man defense. Probably couldn't get any more different. Once I made the decision that I was going to stay here during the coaching change, I really didn't have a choice but to either adapt or get run out. So I think as what all my teammates would agree with me, it was probably one of the toughest things at that time I've ever gone through.
Everybody went through that, every player.
Yeah, I think I remember the first individual workout, there wasn't any basketballs. And with all the drill work we did with Beeline, it was very different. I think it was 55 minutes defense and 5 minutes talking that first workout.
I'm sure that's what it was.
So it was a good wake-up call. It was new for me. I haven't played that type of defense before. We were in that 1-3-1 most of the time under Beeline. I didn't play my freshman year, so just that 1 year, my sophomore year. But man, it was tough. And I think that adversity, that going through that transition, it helped us down the road my last 2 years because it really helped us bond together. Because we all went through that together, and we all struggled, and we complained to each other probably through the entire thing.
But all players do that.
Yeah.
When I used to play, when I played a long time ago too, Alex, at the University of Maryland, part of being a player is when you get out of practice or you're away from the coaches, you talk about all the coaches. You talk about the assistant coaches. You talk about the head coach. You talk about them like a lot. You make jokes about them.
Of course.
That's part of being on a team.
Likewise, I think when you coaches get together, I'm sure you crack a joke or two.
Oh, we do.
Right.
Oh, we talked about you several times.
I'm sure.
Yes, exactly.
Back then I knew it all.
I want to ask you, how did Bob Huggins help you become a better player and become a better man and become where you are today than where you were the 2 years you played for Coach Huggins? I think people need to know this.
Well, first off, I'm extremely thankful for both being able to play for John Beeline and learning under him, and then also getting a chance to play for Huggins. It's, like you said, 2 Hall of Fame coaches. Got very lucky, very fortunate. But as far as what Bob Huggins did for me and the things he taught me, I mean, on the court, defensively, just took my game to a whole nother level. Offensively, made me more of an all-around player. My sophomore year, I might have shot, 5 or 6 twos, and the rest were threes.
Everything was 3-ball. Catch and shoot the 3 too, right?
Right.
Really?
Not a lot of dribbles. I don't even know if I was allowed to dribble.
You never put it on the. You never bounced it. You never put it on the floor.
Right. It was a lot of passing. I mean, that offense was different. But I mean, learning how to dribble, learning how to play. That offense that y'all brought, the 5-man open offense, it really forces you to learn how to read the defense, adapt, and really become an all-around player. And I think now this was going to be my 9th year as a pro. It really helped me adapt and get ready for the next level as opposed to the system prior. So that I'm thankful for.
Let's fill everybody up to date about your 9 years as a pro.
Yeah.
And where have you been?
Gone for 9 years.
And where the journey has taken you from the time you got out of WVU. Take us through the journey with you.
Okay. Well, it's hard to believe.
I know it's a long journey.
It's hard to believe it's almost been a decade since I played here.
That's mind-boggling to me.
Right.
It's almost 10 years already.
Almost, yeah.
Yep.
I had no. When I played here, I was literally just trying to be a good college player. I got here, and Pat Beeline and Mike Gansey were the guys I looked up to, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to be as good as those guys?
Yeah.
And towards the end of my senior year, of course, I worked pretty hard and started getting more attention. And next thing you know, agents started talking to me and started talking about going overseas and playing pro. And I had no idea. Darius Nichols did it 1 year, and that was the only knowledge I had about folks going overseas and making money. So after a process of a whole summer, I signed a contract to go to Belgium, Liège, Belgium, which I've never heard of, had no idea what was going on.
Right.
Jumped on a plane and started the journey.
Next thing you know, you're in Belgium.
Next thing you know, I'm in Belgium. Not a lot going on as far as no ESPN coverage, no Sports Center highlights.
That's amazing.
I mean, all the social medias were not out back then. I think it was just Facebook at that time.
Right.
But no, it was just the start of the journey. So basketball's taken me a lot of places. Man, I'm extremely thankful for that.
Right.
I did three and a half years in Belgium early in my career. Had an ACL injury, which I was able to overcome with the support of the program. Did a year in the D League.
What D League team was that? What team was that affiliated with?
It was the Cleveland Cavaliers team.
Cavaliers, go ahead. Yeah.
I played for the Canton Charge for half the season. I was actually playing with KJ. That was his rookie season,
okay.
Kevin Jones.
Gotcha, yeah, okay.
So I played for the Canton Charge, and then I finished this year with the Iowa Energy.
Okay, good.
So out in Des Moines, Iowa.
Right.
And then the next season, going into my 5th season, I went to Germany, to a small little city, Göttingen, which is about 2 hours south of Berlin. Awesome little town, by the way. It was one of the few towns that wasn't bombed during the war, so it was very still intact and very cool. Nice people. On and off, I spent 2 years there first, and then I made a jump to Spain. I went to northern Spain, Basque Country in Bilbao. Played a year there, went back to Germany for a year, and then this year I was in Barcelona, playing in Barcelona before I got hurt.
Barcelona was like that's like one of the top places to play, right?
Yeah, the ACB in Spain is one of the top leagues in Europe. Like I said, I had one stint there with Bilbao, which was a good team there, and then this next stint was with the club, Juventud, Badalona Juventud, and unfortunately, things didn't work out as far as luck goes. I got hurt and I had to have a procedure done, which is why I'm back now.
Right.
But man, it was beautiful. I got to spend 3 months in Barcelona. It's got to be one of my favorite cities.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, it's got to be one of your... The reason I know about Barcelona pretty good is we had a kid that played for us at the University of Maryland named Sarunas Jasikavičius, who played on the national... He played on 3 Olympic teams for you. Where's he from, Kathy? Sarunas, Lithuanian.
Okay.
He was on the Lithuanian Olympic team.
Okay.
Three times.
Y'all had him at Maryland?
And we had him at Maryland. He's got a great shooter, whatever. He played in the league, played in the NBA for like 4 or 5 years. Anyway, Sarunas ended up at Barcelona, and they won whatever team it was in Barcelona. Real good team. They won the Euro Cup 2 years in a row, back to back.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of the team. If I heard, I would know it. But anyway, Sarunas used to tell me, Coach, Barcelona is the spot. It that's an unbelievable city. He said, I can't even begin to describe it. He told me like stories and stories and stories. Besides its beauty, is it on the water, near water? Is there water there?
Yeah, it's right on the coast.
Right on the coast, right?
Yep.
So, coast, he said it's like New York City in a lot of ways where there's a lot of
action.
A lot of action going on.
A lot of people.
A lot of people, right?
Yeah, the Catalonian people are very nice, very kind.
Right.
Really a slow pace at life, enjoy life. They're all about enjoying life, and the weather helps, of course, right there on the beach.
Right.
I was loving the fact that I could go to practice and then have a beach day afterwards.
Now, is all those beaches topless?
Yeah. That's funny you brought that up.
Oh, I had a feeling they might be topless.
Well,
that was really hard to take, wasn't it?
Different culture for sure.
Definitely a different culture here, right?
There's actually no topless beaches or non-topless beaches. It's literally just
whatever you want to do.
Whatever you choose to do, right.
Did you have your Speedo on? Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think I could wear a Speedo if it's a topless beach.
No, I never made it to the Speedo bravery. But I did enjoy a few beach days.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it lives up to the hype, that's for sure.
That's what Sarunas told me. All right, so you had this surgery, you came back, and you had this surgery, decided to do both knees at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
And Hugs recommended a doctor from Cincinnati. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So now you had this surgery. You're sitting out this year. You're back here rehabbing. Where's this going to take you, hopefully, next year?
Hopefully, back to being healthy. Hopefully the rehab goes well. It's a very small, simple procedure, and most folks do one knee at a time.
Right.
In order to do that, you need a total of 8 to 9 months to rehab, just to let it heal.
Right.
It's very basic rehab, but I didn't have that much time, so I was one of the rare cases. I think John Wall might have had this done in 2016. Very few people have done both knees at the same time, but again, with the support of the program, talking to Hugs and finding Angelo Colosimo back in Cincinnati, his doctor, I was able to go get that done, and now I'm back here doing my rehab with Kettler and Metter, who also did my ACL back in 2011. So hopefully here in about a month or two, I'll be good to go.
And Andy Kettler and Randy Metter, those two guys are pretty damn good, aren't they? They're pretty good, aren't they?
They're pretty good. They're pretty great guys. Yeah. I'm very fortunate to have both of them in my corner.
Well, Alex, it's easy to have you in everybody's corner because you do things the right way, and you're a gentleman, and you're just a great. You do everything the right way. You treat people right. You care about people. You have a big heart. You got a great spirit. I'll start crying when I think about it. I mean, you're just a good. You're just a good guy, Alex.
Thank you,
Just a good guy.
Well, my mom did a good job, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, it takes mom and dad, but it also takes the human being to be out there by themselves once mom and dad aren't around anymore either. So you're not married. I know why I'm pretty good. Because my wife is right there, and she won't let me mess up that much.
Right.
Because I have a tendency to.
She's the reason everybody puts up with you.
Oh, she's the reason. No, there's no doubt about it. Alex,
we're thankful she's here.
Alex, no doubt about it. Yeah. And she's thankful she's here too for everything she's been through.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the Mountaineers.
Okay.
Now, since you were off this year, you've been here. Did you go to most of the games, or do you watch them on TV, or how do you watch us play?
I was in a rehab center in Cincinnati for about a month, and I was able to watch all the games, thankfully.
Right.
And then once I got back here, I've attended every one.
Every game.
Which has been, kind of a blessing in itself. I haven't had a chance to do that in my career, so it's been exciting. I enjoyed being back in the Coliseum and hearing the crowd. It kind of brought back a lot of great memories, so it's been fun.
Get a little hair stand up in your arms.
Yeah.
Little chills, right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when they roll that carpet out, man. That's an incredible moment.
When they roll the carpet out and you get introduced,
that's
pretty special.
Is
that right?
Brings back great memories for sure.
What do you think of this team so far, or what you've seen? Let's go from the beginning to now, getting ready to tip it off tomorrow night against Baylor. Let's go from the start until where we are right now in your mind. Give them a little evaluation of the team first.
Well, going into the season after spending the off-season training here with some of the current players, I didn't really know what to expect. When you really break it down and think about it, prior to this season, Dax and JC were the only two with real pressure moment experience. Even Issa had limited experience, and the rest of the guys with new faces and not a lot of minutes. So with that going into the season, my expectations weren't very high. And then next thing you know, Hugs got those guys ranked number 2 in the nation. And I think myself and the rest of Mountaineer Nation expectations might have gone through the roof.
Yeah, and that was sort of been our downfall because we didn't handle being number 2. We didn't handle the success of being number 2 because we'd never been there before.
And then we also, we reached number 2 and then went into a very difficult part of the schedule. Issa came back, which was, threw everybody kind of off just a little bit, which is natural. Roles are going to change. He's such a good player.
You know what? Here's the thing, too. Keep talking about that in a second. It's hard for people, fans, to understand. And poor Issa sort of got the blame for all this stuff. And the fans just don't understand. When you have a team, and you can talk about this, when you're on a team, and all of a sudden there's a change on your team, Issa comes back. Well, Issa's got to play.
Right.
But when Issa comes back, the chemistry changes on your basketball team.
Yeah, just naturally.
Which naturally, that you can't change it.
No fault to anyone.
No fault to anyone.
Right. It's going to happen.
But everybody blamed Issa for our downfall. It's crazy. Yes.
I'm not too in touch with what everyone's doing.
I'm just telling you.
I personally didn't blame Issa.
Yeah, I didn't blame him either.
No, I mean, I knew there was going to be an adjustment period, and like I said, unfortunately, that adjustment period came at a really tough part of the schedule. We played Texas Tech, we played Kansas, we played one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
So what might have looked like a downfall really was just a real tough part of the schedule.
Right.
But like you said, when you have a player, Issa's a good player, and when you bring him back and he's going to play significant minutes, other roles are going to decrease just a little bit. And that's just natural. It's nobody's fault. And it's going to take some adjustment time. And I thought we saw that. I thought growing pains there for a little bit. So there's been some up and down moments. But all in all, I like where we're at. I like where we're at going into postseason. That last game was a little bit of a disappointment, but maybe a loss right before the tournament's a good thing.
See, I think as a coach for 40 years, the loss on Saturday is going to help us. You never want to lose.
Right, you never want to lose.
But I want to tell you, Saturday's loss, if there's such a thing as a good loss, which there isn't, there's not anything but, I'll call it a good loss because our intensity, our sense of urgency, our alertness, our paying attention to detail is so much better than if we had won that game. Because Coach Huggins, I was at practice, Alex, on today's Wednesday. I was at practice on Monday.
I heard about this one.
And I can't even begin to tell everybody what happened at practice on Monday. I mean, absolutely bonkers. Bonkers.
A lot of growth. We'll call it a lot of growth.
There was a lot of guys that became men on Monday. I'm just going to tell you that.
Everyone got a lot more mature.
People got real more mature. And I'll tell you what, you know what's even better? Not only did they get more mature, they became better listeners and their hearing got better. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Unbelievable. So anyway, I think it's going to be good because I think it's going to carry over to us now having a little bit better sense of urgency. And I think we're a little bit more focused now after Monday's practice. And I talked to a couple guys today about yesterday's practice and today's practice and how they've been since they got to Kansas City. And everybody tells me they've been like very businesslike. Practices and the shoot-arounds and everything have been absolutely tremendous. And all the meetings and the film sessions and everything that we do have been unbelievable. So I think it's going to help us. I really do. And I like the fact for us, and you can talk about this as a former player, would you rather play a noon game or a 9 o'clock at night game?
Now or back then?
Back then. Back in your day.
I probably would have rather played at noon.
Yeah, that's you. I knew you were going to say that, but I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask you this question. Wellington Smith, Deshaun Butler.
Yeah, okay.
Devin Ebanks.
I see where you're getting.
Chuck Bryant.
Right. There's a full day of preparation to get guys to the right level of focus prior to tip-off.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
And I got to tell you, some guys get better as the day goes on.
They wake up more.
Thank you very much. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like it that we're playing the late game.
Okay.
I think that helps us. Now, I'll be a little bit more comfortable tomorrow when I hear the names of the 3 guys that are blowing that whistle. Everybody, I won't give my cell phone number out, but you guys can all try to reach me some way tomorrow. And they don't give out who's going to ref the game until 30 minutes before game time. They come around and they give you, here, Hugs. Here are the 3 knuckleheads you got tonight.
I think every W fan will form some kind of an opinion once learning who the refs are. That's for sure.
Well, I can guarantee you this. If it's John Higgins, oh, did you hear the oohs and ahs?
That was a grunt. That was a low grunt.
Did you know this? Did you know this? That against Texas Tech, when we played Texas Tech on Monday at home,
I did know this, yeah.
John Higgins was assigned to our game in the Big 12, because what happened to Kansas, Big 12 took John Higgins off our game.
I heard that.
And they didn't want John Higgins to come to Morgantown because they're fearful of John Higgins' getting out of Morgantown.
Right.
Which very well probably would have happened.
Right. And we all appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
We would like to extend that courtesy.
Exactly right.
For 3 games in Kansas City.
But I guess I bet I got to put money on it. Just a couple dollars. I'm not a betting man. But should West Virginia, who's in the opposite bracket of Kansas in the tournament, should West Virginia and Kansas get to the championship game of the Big 12 tournament? Anybody want to bet me that John Higgins is on the game? I'm just telling you.
I hope the Big 12 has more sense than that.
I'm just telling you. Because the Big 12 thinks John Higgins is the best referee that the Big 12 has.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay.
And he will work that game with John Higgins, Roger Ayers, and the third guy will probably be Tom Eads, the old white hair guy.
Yeah. Well, like you said, if they think he's the best, they're going to put him on the championship game.
That's what they think. They put the best on the championship game. So, but I think that's to our advantage too, because John Higgins, with all the stuff that happened after the Kansas game,
right.
John Higgins has a little bit reverse psychology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it was, I'm not a fan of talking about the refereeing or blaming any loss on refereeing.
Right.
But the lopsidedness in that game, if you're the referee going away from it, looking back and reflecting, I mean, you see it 35-2, I think, where the free throws are. Yeah. And maybe we're a little biased because we're all Mountaineer fans. But
35-2.
When you reflect on the job you've done, you're going to realize, okay, there was mistakes made. Maybe you watch the film. I don't know if those refs do watch back, but hopefully there was a reflective period for that man. And if he does come to the championship game, and hopefully we're in the championship game, he will do a little better job.
Let me ask you this, Alex. How many years have you played high school, junior high, high school, college, pro basketball? How many years?
This would have been 20.
This would be 20 years. You played basketball.
Right.
Let's say you played an average of 30 games. So 600 games you played.
Okay.
But you played way more than that. Have you ever seen 35-2? Ever? Have you ever seen 35 free throws shot to 2? Answer the question.
The professional in me doesn't want to comment to the referees afraid of a fine. I don't know what kind of trouble we can get ourselves in here, but oh, really? Okay. So there's no fines.
There's no you can say anything you want.
I've never seen it.
You could be never.
No,
I know you've
never seen it.
No.
And
never.
Right.
It's not even close.
There was a lot of forgiveness that I had to ask for after that game because there's a lot of There's a lot of curse words being said to the TV. Apparently, I feel like if I curse enough at the TV, things will change. But ironically, my sentiments were expressed through Bob Huggins at the last 6 seconds of that game. So that's exactly how I felt.
Gotcha.
But man, I've never seen that before. And I've been in countries where there's some low-level refereeing, even blatant cheating that I've seen in some countries.
Yep.
But I've never seen 35-2. And it wasn't like we're one of those teams that shoot nothing but threes. It wasn't like, we have guys that get to the rim. We have Sags who gets the ball down low and Issa who get it to the rim. So for us to only shoot 2 free throws at the very end of, I mean that just says it all right there.
Let's give away a prize before we start our second half hour. Looks like I got a little thermal mug here. It's pretty nice. Here's the question. Big 12 stats are final for the year. These are the final stats, 18 games in the Big 12. What team is last? This is a pretty good question. I saw this earlier. I got to put this. What team is last? There's 10 teams in the Big 12. What team is last in free throw percentage in the league? Anybody gonna guess? Team free throw percentage by a team, the last place team. I'll tell you what. Hold on. It's a two-part question. Who's the last place team in the Big 12 percentage-wise as a team free throw shooting? And who's the first place team? I need both teams. Go ahead. How'd you know that?
Did you watch it?
Texas at WVU. There's the winner.
Is he allowed to answer?
Good job, Rocky. How'd you know that? How'd you guess Texas? Good job. Good for you, Rocky. Good for you. Not wrong. You know what we are for the year in the Big 12? We ended up.
Next page.
Help me out here, Alex.
Go to the next one.
Next one. Here we go. We ended up for the season as a team .809. 80% we shot. Almost 81%. We shot 320 free throws for the season in the Big 12. Exactly right. If we would have shot more than 2 against Kansas. All right, so matter of fact, we shot 320, and that is the lowest attempts by any team in the Big 12.
Yeah, it is.
The lowest one.
Wow.
So that means we're not shooting free throws. So that doesn't only mean they're not really taking good care of us when we play Kansas. They don't like us. Don't just say no. See, I can say it. They don't like us. So the team that shot the most free throws in the league is Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Both took 401 free throws. Kansas took 348. Pretty amazing. West Virginia's number 1 in scoring margin. We've outscored our opponents in the Big 12. This is Big 12 games only. We've outscored our opponents by almost 6 points a game in the 18 games that we played. We've scored 77 points a game. Our opponents have scored 71 points a game. We're number 1 in that. We're number 1 in free throw shooting. And we're number 1 in a couple other categories in the Big 12. I was looking at these coming over the line.
Have we finished number 1 before?
We've always finished number 1 in a few categories. Here we go. We are number 1 in the league in offensive rebounds. Best offensive rebounding team in the league. Right ahead of Baylor. So Thursday night, the offensive boards are going to be very, very important because Baylor's number 2. We are assist to turnover ratio. We are number 3, and Baylor's number 9. This surprised me today, Rocky. This surprised me. I thought we would be the number 1 team in the league in steals. We are the 3rd best team in the league in steals. Behind, who do you think's number 1, Rocky? You're so smart. In steals, Kansas State. Would you ever guess that? Never. Kansas State is 1, Oklahoma State's 2, West Virginia's 3. All right, enough for stats. This is what I want to do now. I want you, in your opinion, I do this pretty much a lot of times with my guests. I want to go through our basketball team. Okay. You watched our team play. You worked out with our guys. You know our players. You know them. I want your evaluation or your feelings or opinions on going from our seniors on down. Daxter Miles, you can go ahead and talk about what you think.
Good player, very athletic, shoots the ball well. He's had a streaky year. I'm sure not the year he wanted, but he's come up big in a few games for us. And I was really happy for him senior night. He had a great night, and you could tell how much it meant to him. He wouldn't let go of hugs.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, wasn't it? Pretty special.
I was happy to see him go out like that.
Good kid, right?
Yeah, good kid. Him and JC have had a lot of fun together. It's rare to have those 4 years together like that, so it's nice to see that bond.
So we talked about Dax. Let's talk about the other senior, Javon Carter. Unbelievable.
He's pretty good, huh?
Not bad, huh? What do you think?
Yeah. He's one of the better players to ever come through the program, and he is a true testament to hard work pays off. That kid is the definition of a gym rat.
Unbelievable.
And I had the pleasure of sitting next to his mom on senior night. That's one proud mama, I'll tell you that.
That's awesome.
But I told her, and I'll say it now, is she raised a great young man. He's a good kid. He's respectful, and Mountaineer Nation should be very proud to have him wear the uniform.
He'll go down in the history of Mountaineer best players. Mm-hmm. The stat that blows my mind is he's the only player ever in the power conferences.
Yeah.
I mean, that stat, Alex, that stat it's crazy. Points, steals, rebounds. What are the other 2 characters? Assists. There's five of them. And he's the only player in the history, in the power conferences, the only player. I'm talking about Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, any player you can think about. He's the only guy that's done that. It's amazing.
Right. I mean, when you get a player that's that gifted offensively when it comes to the points and the assists, it's rare to have that kind of player give the effort he gives on defense and on rebounding. There's been a lot of great scorers and a lot of great players in college basketball, but most of the time they rest on defense or they save themselves for the sake of the team. But what you see, and fans should be very thankful for what they've seen with JC, is he gives max effort every play. And to be young again, because he's playing a lot of minutes and it's a long season, and he's just an incredible player, it's been fun to watch.
You can't begin to put a price on the effort and how much time that kid spends in the gym by himself and how hard that kid works. I mean, you just can't describe it to anybody. I can't. My wife doesn't understand when I tell her about. I mean, and she's been with me for 40 years.
Yeah.
She's seen all the players that I've had a chance to to coach at 40 years. She knows all the guys that we have in the pros. I mean, Javon Carter is like none other than all my guys none other. It's amazing. All right, let's go to the next class. Let's go with Issa Ahmad.
Good player, incredible body. He's a lot bigger than people think.
Right.
And I'll say this: his potential is crazy.
Right.
I think he can be a lot better.
So do I.
I think he
drives all of us crazy.
Kind of fades in and out.
Yep.
But can shoot the three, rebound, post up. He really can do it all. And depending on the kind of off season he has, he could be a really tremendous player.
He just doesn't. In my opinion, he just doesn't have that switch on all the time. And if he ever learns that he has to give that type of energy every possession, he'll be dangerous.
Yeah.
He'll be dangerous.
Yeah. If he would remain in attack mode with his skill level, it would be something to see.
Exactly. All right, how about Beetle Bolden?
One of my favorite players on the team.
Mine too.
I'm sure a lot of people will agree with us. Yep. Just a big heart, a heck of a talent. I mean, just a pure shooter and a relentless defender. His on-the-ball defense, his footwork on defense, I don't know how many. He probably leads the team in on-the-ball charges.
That's correct.
It's
correct.
It's something. He's got a chance to be very special. And what I'm really looking forward to with Beetle is he's going to step into that leadership role next year.
Yep.
And judging him as a player and as a person, I'm looking forward to him stepping up and having that challenge. What kind of leader is he going to be? And JC's been great for him because JC has laid the groundwork as to this is how you're supposed to work, and if you do this, you're going to achieve this. For all the younger players below JC, they should be thanking him when he leaves here because he's really set the bar and set the example. And I'm excited for Beetle to follow in those footsteps.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, that's really good, Alex. I'm serious. Let's go to Lamont, who is very unique in a lot of ways.
Yes, very unique.
Very unique, right?
Very unique, yep.
Oh, in a good way.
He's a funny kid.
Oh, he's a funny
kid.
Go ahead.
The crossings in the practice facility, he usually makes me laugh.
Go ahead.
Good player. Again, a lot of potential. He can shoot the three, but he has a lot of areas that he needs to work on to become more of an all-around player, closer to Issa's level. But just a great shooter, and for his size and length, and to have that type of touch from the outside is special. So, depending on how much time he wants to give, he could be very good.
You know, he's long.
Yeah.
And he's really good at catching and shooting it off the catch. He's not near as good as when he has to bounce it to shoot.
Yeah.
And he's got to work on that.
I think defensively he really needs to work on his footwork, kind of like the transition I went through when you guys first got here until my senior year. A lot of footwork in the offseason, get those feet moving. That kind of slows him down a bit on defense.
How about Chase Harler in your mind?
Chase is he's a good shooter, very good shooter. I don't think Mountaineer Nation has seen how good of a shooter he is. The kid, he doesn't miss in practice. And I've worked out with him, I've shot with him, I've shot against him. A great pure shooter. And I think he would have helped a lot more this year. And he's a young player, and every young player has to learn this. You got to get yourself, they say you got to learn how to shoot in the lights when the lights are on. You got to get yourself to be as comfortable as you are in pickup basketball and practice shooting the three as you are in the game.
But there's 14,000 people, national TV, and the lights are on.
Whatever you have to do to get yourself to be that comfortable, equally comfortable in those situations, that's what I think he needs to figure out. Because when I see him in the game and I see his body language and I see some of his shot preparation and he looks rushed, he looks a little timid, he plays limited minutes, so that's also very difficult for most people that don't understand. You just kind of get in there, you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up the flow. And that can affect a shooter. So I think the more minutes he plays and the more comfortable he can get on the court, you'll see what kind of great shooter Chase is. The next player. Teddy Allen. Teddy Allen. A lot of Mountaineer fans like Teddy. He is offensively, he's got a chance to be extremely special. To be that young, to be that gifted at scoring is it's unique. He has a lot of room to grow. I think he can really take a lot of steps when it comes to working on his body, working with Kettler this summer. He's another one like Lamont that can really benefit from working on his footwork defensively. But man, offensively, he's a talented kid.
Crazy though, isn't he?
He could just get you a bucket whenever you need one, and it's nice.
You know what's crazy is Teddy compared to Chase Harler mentally. Like Chase Harler, he's his worst enemy.
Yeah.
Teddy is his worst. Teddy doesn't care. Teddy thinks he can score 40 every game.
Yeah, he's not lacking any confidence.
Teddy doesn't lack any confidence.
No.
Don't you wish that you could shake up Chase Harler and Teddy a little bit and like give half a Chase to Teddy and give half a Teddy to Chase? Well, you'd have two unbelievable players, I think.
If Chase could just be as comfortable on the court as Teddy is,
oh my God,
you would see a lot better Chase.
Wouldn't it be unbelievable?
Yeah, he is. I'm sure it was the same way in high school, and I'm sure his high school coach said, Teddy, just go score the ball. But he is he's incredibly gifted and just he can score in so many different ways. Yep. Needs to improve his outside shooting. I think folks are going to eventually, once the scouting reports get more detailed on him, he becomes more of a leading role. He's going to have that outside shot. And like I said, it only is going to help as long as he works on his body with Kettler and picks it up defensively. He's got a chance to be a great player.
What about Wesley Harris? Interesting,
yeah.
Interesting kid to me.
Yeah.
For being the first-year player for us.
Him, Teddy, and Lamont all had to go through what we talked about earlier, their roles changing. They played a good half of the season playing a certain way and having a role on this team, and then having it all change when Issa came back in the lineup. So as a result, I think he's been a little in and out, sort of, kind of like Issa. But I like his energy. I like his toughness. He's kind of a skinny kid, but he plays real tough. He could also benefit from a lot of time with Kettler.
Yes, he could, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could. But, tough kid, represents the kind of mentality they have in this program perfectly.
A Logan route. Interesting, huh?
Very interesting. Earned himself a scholarship this season, right?
That's correct.
And he has earned every penny of that. He has been a great – I don't think Mountaineer Nation gives him enough credit about how much he's attributed to this team this year. And a great kid. Nice to see him. He's thankful to be there and never lacks any effort. Good kid. Can't say anything bad about him.
If people understood how far that kid has come from when he stepped foot on this campus 2 years ago to right now, I mean, that guy, Alex, when he first got here, he was a football quarterback. He wasn't recruited.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He played football.
He was that tall, 7 foot.
That's a big quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he can see over his line.
Could he throw? Was he good?
I don't know.
I don't know. I played high school quarterback when I was in high school. I might have to talk to him.
You're going to need to talk to him.
That's a big quarterback.
Swear to God.
I'm sure he got a few letters.
So anyway, he could really walk and chew gum at the same time when he got here. I can tell you now.
That's harshly honest.
It's harshly honest. Let me tell you now. That guy has come light years since oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, he literally had a tough time playing the game of basketball when he first got here with how fast we do everything and how we work.
Right.
I mean, poor Logan. I mean, I felt sorry for the guy. Now, it's unbelievable how that kid has gotten better. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. High school sports to college sports, the speed factor is an incredible adjustment. And for him to come to a program like this, where the intensity is much higher than other programs, I'm sure the adjustment was astronomical. How far he's come, what you're giving him credit for, like you had us for the guards, you really got to give a lot of credit to E-Mart.
Absolutely.
He has worked with that kid all, as much as he can, and just shows how far he's come.
Talk about sags.
Sags.
Hey, I love it. Isn't it great when I say certain kids' names, how he just sort of starts smiling and laughs a little bit? I think it's pretty cool.
I've wanted to kiss Sags, and I've wanted to punch Sags all throughout this season.
Oh, yeah. How about that? That's awesome.
He is incredibly gifted when it comes to timing and shot blocking, like I've never seen before. Very Dior Fisher-esque.
Unbelievable.
And man, it's incredible. He sky's the limit. Potential. To say he has potential is an understatement.
Yes.
He can be so good. I think like Chase, he kind of gets in his own way.
Yes.
He's a very emotional kid, and I'll say this: he's very, very respectful. Every time he comes in a room, he shakes your hand, he says hello. You won't find a nicer kid.
Right. Very emotional, though.
Very, very emotional. And one thing, and I've told him this before, and he needs to learn, is he gets in his own way with his emotions. Right. You want a passionate player, you want a player to play with energy, right. But he's one bad call away from taking himself out with his emotions.
No doubt about it.
And you see it in a lot of young players. He's a very young player.
Yeah. He's only been playing the game only a few years.
Right, and everyone needs to really understand that.
Exactly. It's not like he started playing when he was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's only been playing for like 4 years.
Right. When he gets control of his emotions and that passion is still there that he carries and plays with right now, he's going to be fierce.
Have you ever seen anybody block shots two-handed and catch them like he does? Alex, all the years I played, all the years I coached, and all the players I had, I've never seen a guy block shots where he goes up two hands in his timing and actually grabs the ball and blocks it with two hands.
Yeah.
Not out of bounds, he grabs it. Yeah. And he hands it to JC and the fast break goes.
Yeah.
How's he do that?
He's got me out of my chair quite a few times.
Oh my God. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, his timing is incredible, and that skill is going to be there, and that skill is going to take him very far. How much he wants to work and how much he wants to buy in to E-Mart and what Hugs is telling him is only going to help him.
Speaking about another guy that E-Mart's helped, E-Mart has really coached Sags up.
Yeah.
He's really gotten Sags a lot better offensively.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, how about Magic Bender?
Bender is kind of like Chase. I don't think Mountaineer fans have seen how good Bender is. It's such an adjustment for overseas players to come here and adjust. It'd be one thing to adjust to American basketball. It's another thing to adjust to Mountaineer basketball. And
a little bit different.
The demand, the intensity, the physicality, it is really a testament to Turk, what he was able to do in this system.
Right.
I think Bender struggled a little bit with that, and he can really shoot the ball. I've seen him shoot during the summer when the pressure's off, and he can really stroke it. I don't think he's been able to get, like Chase, that many minutes and that comfortable on the court to show what he can do.
I feel the same way. How about D'Angelo Hunter? A little weird.
Yeah.
In a good way, I guess.
I don't have too much to say.
Yeah.
I don't know him a lot. I haven't had a lot of interaction. Doesn't play a lot.
Pretty quiet kid.
I think he's probably frustrated with how his season has gone, but right. I think he needs to understand we have a lot of good guards ahead of him.
Right.
And I don't know what the future holds for him, but it's just tough to say because he hasn't had a lot of minutes. He's done well in the few minutes he's gotten. Yeah. I think early in the season when Issa was out and he got more and more minutes, exactly. Him and Chase both, I felt, did pretty good.
You know, if you think about the very first game of the season with Texas A&M in Germany, and you go through the whole year, there's been every player at some time helped us win a basketball game. You know, you think of Chase Harler, a couple wins, he helped us. We played Marist down in Orlando.
Yep.
Chase Harler, we don't win that game without him. Chase has a couple other big shots. I forget what was a home game.
Yep.
In the league game where he dove out of bounds, saved the ball for a fast break. Little things. I mean, Magic Bender has given us great minutes a couple games, helped us win games. Logan Rout. I mean, you go right through the roster. Everybody has contributed at certain times this year in our schedule. Was absolutely sort of phenomenal when you really stop and think about it. I think this team is pretty special. I think this team can get on a roll. I think this team can go far in the tournament. I think we can, if we get on a roll, to win a national championship. To win a national championship, you've got to win 6 games in a row. You got to win 6 games in a row to win a national championship. To cut down the net, 6 games. So if you take 1 game at a time, and you do it 6 times, you're the national champions. I don't see, for the first time that I've been around college basketball, I don't see a team out there like, oh my God, I don't want to play them.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't want to call it a down year, but like you said, there's no dominant force like the Kentuckys we've seen in the past that have run the table. You don't have any of those in the field. And to play, we possess a certain amount of toughness. It comes from Hugs and it comes from the program, but we are the team that folks don't want to see in the tournament. With a short preparation and to get ready for the pressure that Beadle and JC provide in the press, that's a tough job. So in tournament play, we are very dangerous.
Now, I think we will win tomorrow night. I think we'll win Friday night. I don't think we'll win the championship game against Kansas.
I agree.
That's my prediction. Now, let's give away this. What do we got here? Excuse me, just a sign?
Is it for like a wall or is it for like a garden? It looks like something. Yeah, it looks like something you put in a flower bed.
It's a sign.
Put it on the wall?
You want to win this?
It's got some rustic, it looks rustic. I like it. Yeah, copper. Is that what it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. Who is the leading scorer?
Yeah, Rocky, you can't answer.
For the Mountaineers in Big 12 play. Any hands?
In Big 12 play. Leading scorer.
Correct.
Hey. Everyone, I think everyone second guessed themselves. Everyone's like, Javon. And they're like, wait a minute.
Hey, I want to thank the Dominion Post. I want to thank the Green Turtle. And I especially want to thank Alex Ruoff, who's been unbelievable. Thanks, dog.
Thanks, Coach.
We will be back next Wednesday night. We will know by then our tournament draw and who will be playing in the NCAA and where we will be playing, whether we'll be playing on Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday. We'll know where, we'll know the times. We'll have our NCAA tournament special next Wednesday night here at the Green Turtle. See you then, thanks.